Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing Rotel's brand new A14 Mark II. The A14 is renowned, brilliant amplifier, 80 watts a channel, lots of inputs and outputs, brilliant build quality, brilliant sound quality, easy to use, great feature set. But forced upon Rotel has been some upgrades associated with the choice of digital conversion chips that they put on board. They used to have AKM chips, but after an 82-hour fire, that factory is no more. So they've introduced some better Texas Instruments 32-bit DAC chips on board, and with that improved the digital inputs to include capabilities for MQA and other streaming via the USB. Nevertheless, let's have a look. Rotel. The 14 series has always been in this sort of two-tone packaging with the classic Rotel packaging tape. Some basic information on the top. The box isn't very big, of course, because the amplifier is designed to be very compact in nature. The model and serial number is on a scan code on just one side, with an implication of colour and model number on both ends. Opening these is really straightforward. A simple nick, and we're in. Rotel, with the release of their Michi products, have decided to change subtly the quick setup card that was on the top. It used to be green, it's now black. On that card, and hopefully you can see with the angle of light and stuff, we have some basic information about how to unbox this and plug it in. Plug in some power cables, laptops, all of those types of things. Beneath that, we see the accessories in a cardboard sort of box. There is a New Zealand IEC power cord, it's a 2-pin. There is a network cable. Now this amplifier does not have streaming on board. The network cable is for monitoring and control purposes. We have a USB. This is a traditional printer cable for streaming off laptops and computers into the rear PC USB input that we'll see a little bit later. There's Rotel's comprehensive remote control. The remote control is packaged separately, and a simple nick tears the sellotape. There's a set of AAA batteries in the base, and then the remote control itself. Now the remote, once the batteries are in it, has a nice fit and feel. The power button is the only thing with any colour, and every other function is controlled via the remote control. Navigating the on-screen display and menu is very easy, along with selecting any of the inputs directly off the remote. Taking the product out of the box, we see that it's very well protected with closed cell foam. And removing that foam is very straightforward. Taking it out of the bag, it's a good oversized, good quality bag, so sliding it out is easy. And we see Rotel's basic warranty card and other information there. As a departure from normal, Rotel has included a USB. This can help with software update and other things like that, and it's lovely to see a nice little gift added, screen printed with the Rotel logo. That can be used via the front input if required. Okay, looking at this amplifier for the first time, you will see that it's not a great departure cosmetically from the previous Mark I. The A14 chassis size is emulated with both the A11, A12 and the 80 watt A14. The screen printed Rotel in the top corner with a power main switch beneath. There's an illumination light in blue, and beneath it the model number of A14 Mark II. The front USB can provide power for the purposes of charging a product if you wish, or a USB input for rudimentary navigation of files for playback of music. There's a 3.5mm stereo headphone output and an A and B speaker switch, which is toggled. It's a relay, and that can also be controlled from the remote. Along the front at the bottom we have the input selection, which is phono, tuner, CD, USB, optical, coax, auxiliary, PC USB, which is the USB at the rear, and Bluetooth. Pairing with Bluetooth is really easy. Selecting that input, the amplifier goes into a seek mode, and once discovered and connected, the Bluetooth logo stops blinking and goes solid. The front display is dot matrix in its nature. It's illuminated from the rear. You can adjust the illumination of that within its setup, along with the characteristic blue surround of the amplifier. Now at that note, please hang around for some photographs. I'll show this amplifier powered up and some of the input and output features on the display. It's got a menu button off to one side. Now this is for the purposes of not only setting up the amplifier but also any number of different things. You can adjust bass, treble, you can navigate and select inputs to be fixed or variable. You can ask it to turn on automatically when it detects certain inputs, as well as discarding inputs you're not going to utilize. The menu is navigated with the plus and minus and the rotary encoder. Now lastly, of course, the rotary encoder volume control. Rotel has been very wise with the implementation of this rotary encoder. Instead of having a very static or very sort of fixed volume control when you rotate it, it's very slow across the first sort of, 0 to 50, 0 to 60 maybe even, to give you very gradual changes of listening at low volumes, and then sweeps up rapidly for the times that you want to get a little bit more emotional with the volume control, and the dynamics are important. It's a lovely little feature, meaning that at quiet listening you can have much more subtle and gradual changes of volume. Tipping it forward for a moment, you'll see that the unit itself is not very deep and it's not very large in general. There's heaps of ventilation, and if you can catch the light right, you'll see the ventilation and heat sinks associated with the main amplification stage. It's a very heavy amplifier, particularly for its size. Part of it is the oversized power transformer, and Rotel take great pride in the quality of that power supply, controlling it in-house, and all of the manufacturing is done by them to ensure that the quality of this can be as good as possible. There's large oversized caps feeding the main amplification stages, so it will really never run out of power or control. Again, looking at the depth and its height, it's not very big. It packs a lot of punch inside a small box. I guess it's at the back though that the magic kind of happens, and again, hang around for some photographs or I'll take some good close-ups. Off to this side we see a dedicated phono input, along with a ground associated with keeping the earth consistent. We've got inputs labelled CD, tuner, auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2, along with a RCA pre-out. There's nothing stopping you using that for a subwoofer if you wish, but it's labelled as pre-out for the purposes of the labelling. Above the pre-out is the amplifier's Bluetooth input. This is external and blinks a little bit as far as its operation. Beside that is the asynchronous USB, and that's how you'll get MQA and other things that are now approved by the DAC that they have on board. There is Rotel's unique control link in and out. Now that uses a white plug associated with some of the accessories. And then there is an external input for trigger and other IR control. There's RS232 for two-way communication, network control, and a rear 5-volt USB for the purposes of powering an external device or for servicing and software update. There's two coaxial and two optical inputs. They're selected in sequence from the buttons at the front. Very easy to utilize and clearly labelled as digital ins. The amplifier has A and B speakers, again triggerable from both the front and the remote, and these are very straightforward as far as how to identify which is which and what is left, what is right, and what is positive and negative. The binding posts have a wonderful quality fit and feel to them, and the unit's sort of banana plugs are protected with these classic Rotel black caps, which are easy to get rid of with your fingertips and gain access to a more traditional connection via a banana plug. There's a serial number underneath the B speakers, and finally an IEC power input. Turning it around again to have a look at its depth and the front and its ventilation. It is wonderful that we've had the opportunity today to share this brand new Rotel A14 MKII, unboxed here at the listening post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.